5. So, as I had said before, so what's the difference? You know, I mean, I get this all the time, like, you know, really what's the difference between you and somebody else? You know, we're just looking for the rock bottom best interest rate. Well, these are comments that I've heard from customers over the years that have dealt with other companies. So who's got number 1? Can you read that, please, from our customer?
My realtor sent me to this lender, and then he routed me to this complicated website, and it took like an hour to complete. So frustrating. It's been 3 days, and I still haven't heard from him.
I've heard that. You know, I've heard that. You know, and so when they come to me, it's like, you know, Mike, what, you know, why does it have to happen? So what we do, how we're different is, I really like to bring them into my office, or I can go visit them at their office, have a face-to-face meeting, and the biggest thing that I can do is ask questions, you know, analyze their goals. You know, what are their goals? You know, it's not just routing somebody to a website and just pushing volume through the system. So I try to really develop a rapport, identify what their needs are, and try to deliver in on those needs. It's the difference, number 1, that face-to-face connection, that rapport. Who's got number 2?
I do.
Read that for us.
All right, so step 2 is about the application documentation. Once we finally connected, he asked me to email all of my personal documents, including my tax returns and W-2. And I'm not sure if this is safe.
Right, so what we do, what I try to do is I combine my very first meeting with the needs analysis. I ask them to bring all their documentation to the office with them. W-2s, the pay stubs, the bank statements. Because as you know, if you email those documents, it's not secure. And with all the hacking and identity theft, I prefer to just get it in person, okay? Now, if there's some items that they don't bring, we actually have a secure upload feature that somebody can use and upload it securely right into our origination system. So, prevents all their information from just being out in cyberspace. So, it really helps from that standpoint. At that meeting, we're also going to talk about expectations throughout the process, and I'm going to set a timeline as far as what they can expect from A to Z. So I think that really helps them understand the process. All right, who's got number 3?
I do.
Okay, read that for me.
Step 3, underwriting and processing. I received an email from a customer service rep that's handling my loan, but I can't seem to get her on the phone. I have no idea what's going on with my loan.
Gosh, those mega banks, it's terrible. I hear that all the time, you really do. So this is how we're different. So on my team, you have the customer will have a dedicated loan processor, and it's either going to be Denise or Stacy. They're going to walk, you know, that customer throughout the whole underwriting process, and they're dedicated to them. Also, on my team is Larry. If I'm ever at a meeting, if I'm with an appointment, if I'm on vacation, Larry is always there to have my back. So there's always somebody there to talk to, right, to walk them through the process. Also, communication is huge in our business. Also, what I do to alleviate some of that is every Tuesday I send what I call a Tuesday loan status update. So this is actually, and I'll pass this around, this is actually a PDF that I email to the borrower, the listing agent, and the buyer's agent. And it lets them know how far along the process we are, right? I also make a phone call to the customer and both agents just to let them know, hey, this is where we're at in the process. You know, anxiety is the worst. When a customer doesn't hear anything for so long, they start getting nervous, they start getting anxious, and then they start picking up the phone and calling people. Somebody should not have to call me and say, Mike, where are we in the process? If I'm doing my job, my team's doing our job, we're pushing information out, and they always know where we're at throughout the whole way. So communication is really, really big. Who's got number 4?
I do.
All right, let's hear it.
We are closing tomorrow, and I still do not have a HUD-1 settlement statement, and I have no idea how much money to wire. Does it always have to be last minute rush?
I hear that. Yeah, that's so common, right? I mean, we've all probably experienced that maybe. It doesn't have to be a rush, right? If you have the correct systems, if you have proper staffing, right, enough people working on your behalf, it doesn't have to be a rush, right? So my goal is to have a HUD-1 settlement statement prepared at least 2 days in advance. They should see the numbers at least 2 days in advance. They can go to their bank that day or the day before closing. They can wire the money, and it just does not have to be rushed, right? You don't have to have that anxiety. So, that's the goal that we have. you know, you just don't want chaos in the final hour, right? And I've talked to people in the past that close with other companies, and it's crazy. I mean, they get HUD ones the day of closing, the hour or two before closing, and it's just really not right when you're buying a home. It's a huge investment. So our goal is to have plenty of time, and getting things done on an efficient basis really helps with that. So, who's got number 5?
I do.
Let's hear it.
I have not heard from my loan officer since he took the initial loan application. I thought he would be at closing.
Shouldn't be a close. This happens a lot where the loan officer, in our business, a lot of times the originator, all they're doing is taking applications and they're just pushing them off. And they may not talk to that customer ever again. You know, it's like a conveyor belt. And it's just, I don't think it's the way that you develop a good rapport with people, and you're not having a book of business that can, you know, grow and be, you know, referral source for you. So what we do is a little bit different. So obviously we do, you know, we'll send them a small closing gift after the closing, but aside from that, we also have a 5-year follow-up program that we're staying in touch with these folks and making sure that they're in the right program, making sure the right is, the mortgage rate that they close at is still within current market. Also, I'm at closing. That's the big difference. So if I'm sitting next to the customer, they feel like, you know, they're represented. And that's the happiest moment that we have, is at closing. So those are just a few, you know, just going from throughout the process. People know afterwards what the difference is, but in the very beginning, they just don't understand. So I just wanted to take the time to sort of explain to everybody here what the difference is working with somebody like myself or with some other mega bank out there. So now you can see the difference is me. So, and my team, I can't take all credit, but thank you for your time, appreciate it.